Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, Farah?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm well. How are you, Aemeyra?
Good, good. How do you feel after our first podcast?
Wow, I think, I think I'm overwhelmed with gratitude because I think we both didn't expect that people are going to react to our podcast the way they did. Alhamdulillah, lots of constructive feedbacks from our friends,
Mhm.
from strangers, who can relate to our story. Like we were so nervous about that, isn't it? Because it
Of
was our
course.
first. And I
Yeah,
noticed I said lots of like, and like, so please tell me
yeah.
if I keep doing that.
It's a good exercise that we're realizing that how we speak on camera, yeah, our bad habits, and yeah, and also we have tried to sort out our technical issues as well with the sound and the camera setup. So
Mm.
as you can see, there are some changes. There are some things that stay the same. Farah have decided that it's okay for her to show her face, but I'll just remain the same. It's just the way I like to roll on social
Yeah,
media.
we both are gonna roll the way we're gonna be comfortable with. So yeah, so we want you to focus on the contents because that's what we want to bring. Inshallah.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So we are gonna start on our second topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a big one. I think we tried to do this yesterday and then we realized that it is a heavy topic,
Oh
quite
yeah,
sensitive. Alhamdulillah, Allah has really enlightened us with like um, ideas and inspiration that how we can truly do this or deliver this topic in a more genuine way. Yes, this is pretty nerve-wracking topic to discuss, but I hope we can shed some relatability and some insight and hope everyone else can benefit from this sharing as well.
yeah.
Farah is like one of the first few people that I will reach out to because I feel like I can open up and put my vulnerable self out there, and then she will give an honest answer or like a positive insight into it. Because I'm a bit pessimistic, honestly.
Well, that's why I feel like my friendship with Aemeyra is a good balance because I'm like sometimes too positive, and somebody needs kind of hello pull me back down, and Aemeyra is like, I think, and I said no 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 no, you're thinking too much, you're better than that. So yeah, I think we are a good balance, isn't it, in our friendship?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good balance without we realizing it. So, how long
Indeed.
have we been friends now?
Yeah, since I came to the UK for the first time, I think that would be 2010. So I met Aemeyra in 2010 when I first came here to study medicine. Aemeyra is like 1 year above me. I don't think we were like that close back then. We kind of like we had this like senior junior friendship.
Mm.
But I always see Aemeyra as someone like adventurous. She's got her own mind, and she's brave as well. She's the kind that would go traveling on her own, and would plan everything herself. A free spirited individual, and she's just different from everyone else I've met before. So yeah, so I feel like when I talk to Aemeyra, she's a bit mysterious in a way, but adventurous
Mysterious.
and like free spirited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like an interesting observation. Yeah, because I feel like in university, to be honest, I was just in my own little bubble. There's a lot of inner work that I was working on. So hence I was quite withdrawn from the main groups because I can see that you and your girls in your year, including the girl in my year, and you guys are easily just hang out together. But I feel like it's for me, I was just so in my head, I was just in my feelings, and it's just hard for me to like join. And I also have other things that I was working on. I was part of the Malaysian Society. I'm
Oh
not gonna mention names.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was always in central London, not joining the dinner and stuff like that. I was doing my own thing. In your honest opinion, did you
Mm.
think I was a good friend at the time? Just let's talk about our uni life for a bit.
Um, I mean, when you are needed, yes. I don't think it's fair to kind of, give my opinion just because we weren't that close before. So I think you did try your
Mm,
best. When you were there, you were present. I didn't feel like,
mm.
you were a touch and go kind of person.
That is true. But I just find sometimes like in girls group,
Mm.
there some people just tend to be easier to just open up. But for me, I find
Really?
it like I don't know, it's I think a personality thing. I take time to get to know people and decide if I can trust that person or not. Most of the time I'm wrong. I'm overcautious. I'm like, oh, this person may be too loud, or maybe that they're busy doing something else, or maybe they don't see me as they don't see me as important enough to listen to my like petty problem.
No,
Yeah.
I think it is interesting though. It must be because of what you've been through, isn't it? Like when you were young,
Mm,
right? You have trust issues. But then, because I mean, there are people who, like me, tend to overshare and then regret later.
mm,
Like, why did I tell this person about this? Like, oh my goodness! Like, sometimes.
ah,
So I think over the years we learn
mm,
what is okay, what is not okay.
mm,
When you are developing friendship, the do's
yeah.
and don'ts. But we're still learning, isn't it? So
Mm,
don't be so hard on
yeah.
yourself.
It'll be so hard. I think I'm always the person that is always hard on herself, extra hard, right, Farah?
Yeah, super hard.
I'm my hardest, I'm my harshest critic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So just one more thing I want to share. Any form of friendship that I develop is a kind of emotional attachment. I think because you just mentioned that something that I went through when before. Yes. I tend to try to build relationship based on emotional connection. So that's hard for me to
Mm.
open up my emotion or open up my personal stories if, let's say, someone not gonna willingly listen, or I think I presume someone is not truly listening to me. It's just my own
Mm.
perception. But
Mm.
maybe I have a high expectation on people. Like I want people to sit down, eye contact. But when you're in a big group, you hoo hoo ha ha,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
no one is really listening. I remember maybe we had like some sleepovers. I think
Yeah.
yeah, we did have like heart to heart talks, and but then I prefer things like that.
Sounds like
Mm.
you are, you're probably more mature than we we were. 'Cause we were happy talking about, like, things that are not really, that deep and heavy. So yeah, I think
Ah,
yeah, it just reflects who you are as a person. You are always a deep
mm,
thinker. Whereas I do like to talk about deep things, but at the same time,
mm,
I can, I think it's just different personalities. So and that's how we bring colors to each other's life.
mm.
Gitu.
Gitu lah. Right, Farah. Do
Right.
you do you always have a concept of like a best friend? Because that means best friend is like a person that I attach myself to, and that is something that we have or developed over time. But this is more like me as a young person.
Good question. So I think back then, we were all, especially in school, right? We were always fed by the idea of, like, everybody has to have a best friend. Like,
Mm,
you want to have a cool best friend. You want to be in the cool circle.
yeah.
But I learned quite early in life that people can still kind of do bad things and talk bad things about
Mm-mm.
you. I
Yeah.
just based on my personal experience, so when I considered
Mm-mm.
myself best friends with a group of people and I
Mm-mm.
walked into them talking bad about me, and that really scarred me. Like, oh my goodness, these are
Mm,
the people I trust and I can't believe they do this. They did
mm,
this, and I it took a while for me to kind of process that. And I think from that point, I kind of built a wall. This was, way in school, back in school,
yeah.
but at the same time, my mom was ill. So I think around
Mm-mm.
that time, I just decided,
Yeah.
you know what, it's not worth having best friends because they're not going to live
Mm-mm.
up to my expectation. I probably won't be able to live up to their expectations. From that point onward, because I was in boarding school, so I was like,
Mm-mm.
what? Oh my god, how am I going to go to, like, DS? As in DS is like a cafeteria.
Dining hall.
And
Yeah.
we go to cafeteria 3-4 times a day, to eat. Uh,
Uh,
and I was worried, like, oh my god, how do I roll without having best friends? I can't do things.
yeah.
But I decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna change my, like, mindset. I'm fine being on my own. I'm cool. I'm gonna be that one person who's gonna sit in the dining hall feeling confident eating on her own and go anywhere on my own. So I think from that point I decided I'm just gonna be friends with everyone. There will be people who I can connect to. I would call them
Mm-mm.
close friends.
Yeah.
But no such thing as best friends, because I feel like relationship
Mm.
changes all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I would see you as my close friends. Yeah.
I'm
if
happy to
I
be
hope
your
so.
close friend.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think as for me, like you really break away from that concept of best friendship
Yeah.
early on. But I feel for me, it's more recent. I feel like I'm finally getting it like, oh, okay, no matter how close you were with somebody, at some point, life will always drift you guys apart.
Yeah.
And that is normal.
Indeed.
Sometimes emotional doesn't match, and it's okay. That is part of life. And I think I learned that the hard way. I was like it felt like a proper breakup, like this
Oh.
is what we call adult breakup, isn't it? Adult friendship breakup. I didn't realize how painful it can be to really break off and realizing, oh, this friendship no longer exists in the way that I used to. This person is no longer the person that I knew before.
Mm.
To accept and to let go was hard, but I think I'm learning. I'm still in this process of learning and accepting things. Yeah. So
Mm.
yes, I'm also like you. I feel like I'm breaking away from that best friendship or labeling people as best friend. But I do have people that I know, yep, this is a person that I can open up, I can trust. I don't know what label to put it. Close friends, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like, these are all just like labels and terms that you put on people, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned about friendship breakups. It felt like
Mm,
a relationship breakups, isn't it? Um, I
yeah.
wonder how you cope with that, because I think in my own kind of experience, I because of this wall that I put in, although I do allow people in, but because
Mm,
you are the person who do invest, I mean, mashallah, you are very invested in everything, which is good. So how do you cope with friendship breakup? What are the
mm,
things that you think helps you overcome
mm.
friendship breakup? I mean,
Yeah, I think to go through the emotion, obviously it hurts really badly. You
mm,
obviously have to feel all the emotion, and then I feel hit with this tug of like pain because I'm losing a person that I thought could be my best friend, BFF forever, something like that. My coping mechanism is to pour it all down, that emotion, and also try to analyze the situation from both party, like, oh, my
mm,
mistake or my bad, my experience, and also possibly what this person could be experiencing too. Like normalizing, oh, this person have career change, this person is moving, has a child. Try to think well of their what other person is going through, and try to think positively about what is currently happening. The breakup
mm.
maybe is
Must be
not a
hard,
person's
like,
intention.
yeah.
Yeah, it's by decree, isn't it? So I think this is something that I'm
Mm.
slowly adopting, and Alhamdulillah, Islam is one that teach me that kind of like coping mechanism. Like all is by decree, people come and go, and if ultimately you always have Allah. And this is
Mashallah,
hard
that's so true.
before I had the deen close with me. I always have to want to fix it. Like I will text somebody, I will want to call them, hey, what's wrong? What is it? Write letter, a heartfelt letter, like I feel things are not working out anymore. What's happening? I'm that kind of person, so emotional. I put
Wow.
my heart on the table, like
You do.
vulnerable.
No wonder you're so guarded. Like, you don't easily open up to people. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I really pour myself onto people, but
Mm.
then I realized that instead of pouring onto people, which their situation will change, their feelings will change,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
it's better to pour your heart to Allah. And
Mm.
I remember one time that this person that I felt I was close to, they're doing something and I wasn't part of it. It's not their fault. Logically, like I can't even join that event anyway. But
Yeah.
I feel, oh, I wish I could be there. I wish I could be part
Mm.
of that reunion or whatever. But I couldn't, and it really tugged on my heartstrings. And
Oh,
then I just cry. I just cry, and then I just make wudu and pray duha. May Allah replace this friendship with something better. Maybe that person is no longer what I need at the moment because they have done serving me. That's it. So I
mm.
need to move on to a different chapter on different people I need to benefit from. Yeah.
That is very well put. Like maybe this
Mm.
person is done serving me, as in not in a bad way, but serving
Yeah.
in terms of giving you the goodness, or what
Mm.
what benefits you. We don't we obviously we don't make friends to get benefit from them, but obviously when you make
No.
friends, you should have the mindset of like, yeah, what do I learn from this person, what
Mm-mm.
these are the kind of benefit that you should reap from a person, not
Yeah.
the obviously outer worldly stuff. It's the
Yeah.
inside, isn't it? Yeah.
I used to have that I'm a big with birthdays before. In my 20s, I'm all about birthdays, and the way I appreciate somebody is by wishing them happy birthday. I remember I will put down everyone's birthdays on my phone, and when you get married, like I will note down your husband's birthday as well, and your
Wow.
children as well. But then again, it's a kind of expectation. It builds
Yeah.
up expectation, like, oh, if I wish someone birthday, they will remember mine. But then
Oh
I
my
think
god,
over
that's so
time,
true.
I got this reality like
I
slap
mean,
on my
Amira, I'm
face,
so
like,
sorry. Like, I,
but
I
then no, it's okay. It's I've done the work. It's okay. It's okay for people not to remember my birthday because it's just birthday anyway.
it's not that like I have friends like you, exactly. There was this dear friend of mine as well. Like, she will remember everyone's birthday like clockwork. She's really good at, her memory is amazing, and I can never remember anyone's birthday, no matter how much I've like, I mean, I probably should have a book. Even if I put it on a book, I can never remember. Like, I barely remember my husband's birthday. I have to keep like
Oh,
refreshing.
your
I'm that
husband's
kind.
birthday? Are you sure?
Yeah, honestly, like, I do know his birthday, but when
Farah.
when if I don't have that realization, sometimes it can just kind of
Mm,
pass. So I'm that kind
yeah,
of person, but that doesn't mean I don't love my friend or my
yeah,
husband. It's just
yeah.
the way that I'm built. I think that's what we
Mm-mm,
tend to realize, isn't it? Like, we have all these expectations, but our expectation
mm-mm.
is based on what we are willing to do to someone else, but we don't see
Yeah.
the things that they are willing to do for us. So it might be different, isn't it? So yeah, I
This
think
is the beauty of like this friendship because
mm,
I learned different perspective of life through like you have completely
that's right.
different personality. I have completely different, but I know your heart. I know like if Farah forget, I know it's like because she is busy with other things, she's not looking at her phone. Because I know
That's
already know
true.
your personality and how you live your life. Then I make me like if one person can live that way, there are millions of people in this life. They can respond to birthday wishes differently, or their appreciation to birthdays are completely different. That doesn't mean they're not wishing you birth doesn't mean they don't love you. So
Yeah.
I try to like break away from that concept, like, you know, tying myself to a particular date or event, or just openly just love somebody for who they
Oh.
are and just be open. Yeah.
I think there's a hadith, isn't it, that you mentioned the other day about giving people excuses.
Mm.
What was it again, Amira?
So basically, when somebody is not really like living up to your expectation or making some mistake, you give them 70 reasons or
Mm,
70 excuses for their for their character that you don't agree with. You cannot find 70 reasons, good reasons for that. That means the problem could be within yourself. Let's say you want to invite somebody over to your house and I wasn't invited. I have to give 70 reasons for Farah not inviting me. Like, or maybe Farah just want to have dinner with this person. Farah just have space for this person. Farah have,
that's so
70
true.
reasons. It's 70 reasons. Like, you have to think 70 reasons. I mean,
Exactly. I feel
mm,
like as a society these days, we are so quick to judge other people on that one particular thing, isn't it? Like, you go on social media these days, and there's this like random reels or like TikTok videos on, say for
mm,
example, there was this like husband and wife, and the wife is busy with the kids, and the husband was just kind of like minding his own business, and people like,
yeah,
divorce him, he's a useless.
so
Like,
quick.
oh my god, people chillax. Like,
Yeah,
what you see in that point in time doesn't mean that he
yeah,
cannot do the work. Like, doesn't mean that things
yeah,
are, what makes you think you know everything based on that one video? I just feel like as a society we fail to make excuses for people. Like,
mm,
we don't realize like we could be in that person's shoes as well. Like, we
yeah,
make mistake every single day. Do we try to work on ourselves? Like,
mm,
why is it when it comes to other person, it's so quick for you to think of the worst, and then when it
mm,
comes to you, you keep making excuses? I just find that really,
exactly. Yeah,
frustrating. Yeah. So
yeah.
we need to be
It's
better.
funny actually. You just mentioned about a video. I just saw this one video recently on TikTok. So this is basically like there are two influencers. They are both like auntie and niece. so they are doing like a home renovation together. So one
Mm.
is helping the other, and
Mhm.
another one is helping the other. But the like let's say A had more work to do, so B has been helping more and more.
Mm.
But A hasn't once mentioned B's name in any of her renovation videos.
Okay.
Okay, and then somebody commented like, "Oh, this family of yours never once thanked you in any of her videos." And then B just said like, "You don't know. We live nearly almost every day together. The
Oh,
things that we discuss. Of course, I know she's going to be making all this TikTok, and then like I don't mind. And the fact that people outside are watching this and thinking, oh my God, she's not being mentioned. That means she's not being appreciated. It just so how shallow if
exactly.
we value
And
the
how
love that we have
entitled
for other people.
yeah, and how
Yeah.
entitled you think you are to just give your peace of mind without thinking it might affect other people's relationship. Like,
Mm,
there are people who get divorced because of the comments that people keeps making. Like things
yeah.
that you don't realize your partner do or your friends did.
Yeah.
And you just accepted them the way they are, and then suddenly this random
Mm,
person just come and commented, and and make you
mm,
rethink about your reality. And just we need to be careful about what we say, not just on social media, even in like day-to-day
mm,
lives. If there is, say, your friend came to you to talk about relationship problem, and you give them
mm,
a bad advice, like like, oh, you have to cut off your relationship. We
mm,
should give people a chance. I do know that in this world, I mean, realistically, there are relationships beyond repair, but in
mm.
Islam you should not shut the door completely, because
Yeah.
we never know what our ending is going to be. Like, you
Mm,
might see that person as that,
mm,
but you never know how they're going to end up. Like, are they going
mm,
to, I don't know, towards the end of their life, they're going to suddenly become a better person, better than you are.
mm.
So
Yeah.
we should give people more compassion.
Yeah, I think the way I see that, like in terms of giving people chances, is like see how Allah
Oh,
will
yes,
always forgive you, will always accept you whenever you return, even though you make mistakes over and over again.
exactly.
And Allah still, the door of forgiveness is constantly open.
Mm.
And why we can't be like that? Just forgive. The best of judgment or the best of punishment, whatever, is from Allah. So we
Yeah.
obviously we don't want this person also to receive punishment from Allah. So we make dua that may we become softer to forgive, and also Allah also forgive their wrongdoings as well. So yeah, I mean the point is like yeah, again, people easy to jump into like yes, this is a bad person. This
Yeah,
is not appreciating people. But I guess in Islam we do things for the sake of Allah, isn't it?
yeah,
Um,
that's right.
we shower person love because we want Allah to see it, not for someone else to see it. So not for someone a mention on Instagram or a repost or for me, I don't know. At some point, I felt social media is the one that caused harm
Yeah.
to how I see other people, and I've done quite a bit of work with separating personal life and social media. Yeah.
That's
Um,
a good topic. I think we probably should naturally move on to that topic: social media, technologies, how that can harm, relationships, especially friendship, isn't it? I am probably guilty of doing that, like, because I like to post things on my Instagram.
mm,
For my own kind of like self satisfaction, I guess, because I'm the
mm,
kind of person who like to go all out. Say, if I want to arrange like a little gathering or a party,
mm,
I like to make sure that the food are good, the decorations are good, and I like to record these things because first, I love
yeah,
recording and editing
yeah,
videos, and second, these are the way that I remember my friends one day, hopefully, when we are all
mm,
in different places. But unfortunately, that might not be the way the other people see it.
yeah,
People who are not invited by might think, oh, she didn't invite me to this one. She never did.
mm, 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 yeah,
Or my friends back home, she never did this to me. Like, or my family, who knows? So these are
mm,
the things, like, what you have in what your intention might not translate to other people, and the
yeah,
evil eyes, as you know, is really scary.
mm,
So I think, we all need to reflect on these
mm,
things, and like you said, give people 70 excuses. Like,
mm,
stop thinking so badly about other people. Like, this
mm,
is what they have decided to do. It's okay.
yeah,
Be okay with it.
mm,
What makes you
yeah,
think that she owe you anything?
Mm,
however close you are, I think the closer you are to a person, like you said, the more excuses you need to make for them, not the other way
exactly.
around. I feel like,
Yeah.
if you're best friend, oh, I should know first because I'm the best friend. Not
No.
necessarily. If she's not ready,
Yeah.
you got to accept that she's not ready. You should
Mm,
be the person who reach out to your friend.
mm.
You have to be the bigger person, I think, in relationship.
Yeah. I just want to, it just, you just brought some points that I want to make me reflect on my own experience recently. And when you live apart, you can only see people from social media
Yeah,
and stuff. So
that's right.
there's a lot of like assumption and like
Absolutely.
just
Yeah.
guessing. But then I have a feeling that she was going through some tough time, and I was surprised that she didn't tell me first because I thought we are close
Mm.
friends. So I tried to rationalize myself, like, calm down. Again, like you said, like somebody might not be ready to share things because they are still processing it. What would be the best thing to do in that situation is just to offer yourself,
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
I'm here if you need to. If you need to talk about something or you want to share something, just know that I'm here for you. Even though
Oh,
I was quite like sad that she didn't quite respond, but again, try to like, oh, she might be not ready. We don't know her personal circumstances. We don't know what going through in someone's mind. We don't know what other things are on their plate at the
so true.
moment. So again, 70 reasons why
Yeah.
somebody could not just reach out or use you up as like I've already offered myself. Why is she not
Yeah.
just responding to me? But then again, 70 reasons. Yeah, I think this is such a powerful hadith, isn't it, to
It
hold on to.
is, ya Allah. You can apply it to lots of things in your life, and in a
Yeah,
way, this hadith is not just for that person, the other party. It's actually for you, so that you have a peace of
mm,
mind.
benefit for
Because
you.
when you make assumptions, you actually hurt yourself more. Because, oh my
Mm,
God, it's because of me. Like, as I mentioned in our previous podcast, in marriage, right? You make assumptions about your husband,
yeah.
and you ended up getting hurt. So actually, I think we need to start making excuses, for other people. I'm not saying making excuses as in, if they don't show up in life, and we
Yeah.
all need to work on ourselves. But what I'm saying is that, instead of getting hurt, like taking everything in, which gonna make you much more,
Mm,
frustrated, then it's it's
yeah.
it's probably better for you to like detach yourself from that, because at the end of the day, it is that person's kind of
Mm,
situation, problem, whatever you want to
yeah.
call it. No matter how close you are still the person sitting from the outside, and you don't experience
Yes.
everything that, as much as it's not just you, Aemeyra.
Yeah.
Like, I also used to be like that too. Like,
Mm,
I feel like, oh, why did my friend never reach out to me? Like, she didn't say anything. Like, I must
yeah.
be a really bad friend. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, but it's not. I think it's because the whole idea that we have been fed with, like, oh, if you're the best friend, you have to be told first. Like, no,
Mm,
what makes you feel so entitled just because of the fact that you're the best friend? You, as a best friend, should feel the need to reach
mm,
out to your friend, to give more. I think that's what we learn, isn't it? Now you give, 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 and give.
yeah.
Don't expect anything in return, because you're gonna be tired if you live like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sense of entitlement that we deserve this, and I think as if the whole world revolves just around you,
Yeah.
like everyone else, I'm the main character. I think this main character syndrome has to go, like
Yeah.
this whole thing, this trend has to go. You're not the main character. You are just one fragment of the universe, and Allah is in control of everything.
That's right.
And one way for me to deal with like a little bit of if I feel negatively about things that I'm not part of, I don't know, I'm the last to know, whatever. The way I comfort myself is like Allah protect you from that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't need to hear that. Maybe you can't handle it. You don't need to handle it. It's too heavy for you. You maybe not have the emotional. If someone go through bad things, maybe if you have known what exactly the bad things that they're going through, maybe you wouldn't be able to give the right advice. So you might end up
That's right. Oh
hurting.
my God,
So
that's
I'll
so
yeah
true. Be protecting you, could be protecting your friend. It might be that you're gonna
yeah
give the wrong advice, and your friend is gonna be even more, like, even
mm,
worse. So it is what it is,
yeah
isn't it? Like, we just have
yeah
to keep an open mind. I think that's
Yeah,
all.
exactly. If let's say in the event that you're not invited to, I sometimes tell myself, I'm not meant to be there. I might be meant to be somewhere
Yeah.
else. And then it always turned out to be true. If let's say I'm not invited to, I just give you a recent example, like someone did invite me to a birthday party. And I thought like, okay, that's kind of sad. But then at the same time, there are things that I have to do with my family anyway. So if we really try to attend, it's just going to put more pressure on us to be at two places all the
Yeah.
time. So it's like Allah is really light on you, really like trying to help you,
Yeah.
minimize your decision making. I feel like, thank you Allah, thank you for making my life easy.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't have
true.
to decide like whether not here or there, three places at a
I
time.
know.
Like,
You just
yeah,
have to shift the way you think, basically. I
yeah,
wouldn't lie and say that it does. It doesn't hurt when someone doesn't invite you. Of course, it would hurt.
mm-mm,
Of course, you have that question in your head.
mm,
But I think what we're saying is that, try to move past that and try to not ruminate on
mm,
that so much, because, it might not be that personal. And if you
mm,
want to say, that looks fun, maybe I should do something to make me happy as well. Like, you don't have to
yeah,
rely on someone else to be happy. You
yeah,
can do happy things yourself and create
yeah.
happy things yourself too. Yeah.
Mm. I think we're talking a lot about feeling negative or feeling sad when we're not included. I think this reminds me of another hadith that I
Ah,
counted recently. It's about when there's three of you sitting together, Rasulullah said, then no two of you should be saying something that the other person do not know of, because that might grieve the other person too. And if you read in the Arabic, the grief bit, the wording is used is tahzan. So that means the negative, heavy sadness that we all went through. Subhanallah, like Islam is so wholesome. It touches on these little details of
I know.
life, isn't it? It's so amazing. Yeah, I feel so strongly with this hadith because I always don't like to be the third wheeler in a friendship. I don't like to be the odd one. That has been something that I'm constantly working on. But I know I always feel like I'm gonna be the one left out. I'm gonna be the one that do not know what is currently going on. I always feel a bit butthurt over little things.
Is it
But
because
then
of
I
your
think
past experience, Aemeyra, that you feel like that?
yeah, I think because I feel like because I'm very attached to a person. So let's
Mm,
say I'm a best friend with A, and then suddenly there's a I'm a B, and then the C come in. I just don't. I am a bit. I think what's it called? Territorial. I can be a
uh-huh.
little bit
I understood.
territorial. Like
No, I
this
think
is my friend. This is my person. Why you
go away. No, no, I think
like?
I think it's because you, like you said, Tadi, I think quoting what you said, you're the kind of person who like to, talk to someone face to face, heart to heart,
Yeah,
one to one. You're
yeah.
like my husband, basically. He's also that kind of person. That's why he
Are
doesn't.
we?
Yeah, there are times that he wouldn't like to gather, like have lots of people, in the house,
Ah, yes.
um, because, and I appreciate that as well, because that's why I like him, because I think sometimes you just need to have a close, kind of like one-to-one conversation
Mm,
with
mm,
people. Yeah, so I don't think that's.
yeah.
But yeah, now I understand why you feel like that. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I like quality time. So that means when there are like lots of people in the
Yeah,
group, I will feel like I will be observing the other person. So I'm like, okay, who is this person? See, can I trust this person? How much do I
like, who are
can I
you?
share with this? Yeah, I'm very like, there must be a metaphor for this. Like you're very cautious, like, what's up?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then I
yeah.
just find very comforting to know that it's a hadith like this, to know
Mm.
that my feelings are valid. I'm not crazy by overthinking, overfeeling this, but it, our Rasulullah is aware this situation could happen, like someone could feel alienated or feeling
You
left
know
out.
what? This remind me of, even someone like you, someone like us, in as an adult can feel like this. I remember when our children were hanging out together, right? And then, my child got along, like your boy. She's also best friends with this little girl who's also
Yeah.
happened to be, my one of my closest friends,
Mm,
daughter. But then when your boy came, because they are same age, they played together, and this little girl was left, on her own, and she was really sad. Even in children, they feel
yeah.
that. So
Mm,
yeah, this what you're feeling is absolutely real, and that's why
yeah.
Rasulullah said we need to be aware. When there's three of you, you
Mm,
have to be aware and make sure that everyone gets the same amount of attention. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Just
that's really good.
yeah.
I think we talk about a lot of
Yeah, I think we
issues around
covered quite a
friendship.
bit. Yeah, that's really good. I think this conversation is going well, Alhamdulillah.
That's good.
I know Faraj as a person who is always positive. She always have a positive outlook towards life and towards people. Yeah. So that's why I feel like I know, the more I know you, the more I know that when you don't return my birthday wishes or you don't text me back, or I know that she is just busy because she wouldn't think the same way about me, because she always like, oh, Farah wouldn't think this way about me. She's like probably like, oh, she would say that, oh, Aemeyra must be busy. You're always the person who always think well of other people.
Oh,
And but also another thing about you is like you are, for the lack of better words, I think you are like, is it gullible, naive,
yeah.
like
Well, it
as
is.
a
Yeah, I
person,
am that.
yeah,
I am that.
as a person who is quite sensitive, how you tolerate what people say or talk about you. You just able to take in the lightheartedly, like you just laugh it off. For me, I would just sit there and crumble and cry internally, you know. But you just like ha ha ha, brush it off. I feel like wow, this girl got some strong. Is a strong inner work. She
Do
probably have done
I?
a lot of inner work. Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
Do you feel that is true about yourself?
Oh, to some extent, I understand where you're coming from. But actually, there is a lot of trauma behind that you don't know
Is
about.
it?
So yeah,
Oh,
I think interesting that when you put it that way, no wonder. Because I was expecting the same thing about me. Like when I met my husband, right? I was expecting the same thing from him. Like when I make jokes, he would laugh it off and like but he was not happy. And
oh,
that's because he's a sensitive person like you. Because when you
just
make a
yeah.
joke, light joke, I thought
For
it was a light joke, light-hearted joke. But he was like, "Why did you
mm,
say that about me?" And I was like, "Oh, that's
mm,
not to be, like something hurtful."
yeah.
But it is. So, and I didn't know
Mm,
that until later, until I got married.
mm,
Um, so yeah, basically when I was again in the early years of growing up, I have quite of some negative experience back in high school,
yeah.
when people are making jokes about me. uh, I as my mom passed away in kind of when I was 14, and around
Yeah.
that time it was really difficult for me to process the fact that I'm in boarding school. Obviously I'm not home
Yeah.
all the time, and
Mm,
then the thought of, am I going to get that phone call to say that my mom
mm,
is sicker and she's going to leave me, she's going to pass away? I always had
mm,
that fear in me. And that
mm.
unfortunately manifested in my behavior. I became a panicky person, a lot of anxiety going
Yeah,
on.
of course.
At some
Yeah.
time, I developed tic as well, and I
Yeah.
didn't quite understand that, like, why am I doing this behavior repeatedly? But obviously now,
Mm,
I've learned about like medicine, I'm an adult, and I can see why I behave like that. But because of those moments, some of my friends made not very nice remarks about me. They not intentionally, not in a they didn't intend it in a bad way, but obviously, they name call me something like, oh, you're always so
yeah.
panicky, you're so like
Mm,
gelabah, and I forgive you all in case you're watching this. But because of those things, obviously I didn't like that, but I
yeah.
didn't want to take it too much, right? So at that point I just learned to, I'm just gonna accept it, like,
Mm,
I don't have a, what they were saying about me is right, but I don't know what to do with myself. But they didn't understand
mm,
why I behave that way, isn't it? So
mm,
that's why I said always
yeah.
be merciful to other people, because you don't really know the
Mm,
situation that I was going through. Now as an adult, I have to talk it out with my husband because he
mm,
didn't understand my behavior. And when we have a deep talk
mm.
like this, then I realize that, oh my God, there's a lot of
Okay.
trauma there. And I have to unlearn and relearn that, and accept that this is so. To answer your question, I remember this ayah that says, I think Surah Al-Hujurat ayat 11. All believers, do not let some men ridicule others. They may be better than
Mm-mm.
them, nor let each other be offensive nicknames. So Allah says, when I was in despair, I read the Quran, and this is the surah that I came across, and I
Mm,
cried so much because I always put myself
sure.
down. Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so bad. That's why people say this about me. This is such a
Mm,
bad, like, I'm so ashamed of my character.
yeah.
But Allah consoled me at that time, and I felt so
Yeah.
rejuvenated. And Ya
Mm,
Allah, it's okay. Maybe in their eyes, I'm this person, however they want to paint me as,
yeah.
but Allah sees me. And at
Mm,
that moment, I felt very content. Alhamdulillah.
That
But yeah, this
that
is
is a
why
bit,
I'm the way I am, as you know. Yeah.
that is a very beautiful ayat. So did you know that did you know that I actually do not know how to make jokes and I cannot take jokes. Kalau
Mm.
orang cakap like bergurau je lah, I had taken that super seriously. If let's say, there was one time I did something that wasn't quite right because it was my fault, I know. And then I went to this person like sincerely apologize, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry this happened. I'm really sorry. And this person replied to me like, okay lah, fine, putus kawan. That's it, enough. You are such a bad person. This is not real wording. I'm just rephrasing things.
Yeah.
I felt that super
Mm.
hard because I don't take things lightly like this. And
Yeah.
so I felt that super hard. It's like, and then she saw my face just change. And it's like, oh no, it's gurau je lah. Janganlah serious sangat. I was like, I don't know how to take that. In that moment, I don't know how to process it because I was so sincere just now and you just slam me down saying all these things that I really try hard not to become like a bad friend, a bad person or
Mm.
whatever. And I just really don't know how to respond to that. So it's always been like if someone is joking, in my head I'm processing it whether this is this real or is this a joke. So that's why sometimes my reaction, my if someone making joke, I will laugh like maybe like a minute later because like it's a joke.
You know what? That's why I didn't. That's why I feel comfortable, like being your friend, because I do like being friends with people who don't enjoy like ridiculing other people.
Mm,
Sometimes people just do it like people they call it like bahan, right? But it's not really
yeah,
a bahan if the other person it is bullying if the other person felt attacked, like regardless of
yeah.
however you feel like, oh, it's just a light thing, macam don't take it so seriously, but well, when it happened to your face, when it happened to you wouldn't like it
Mm,
much, do you? So that's
yeah,
why we have to be mindful lah. I think that's
yeah.
the main
So
thing.
if you're being bahan by someone who is in within your close circle, are you still going to get offended or you have work on that? You're done. You're
Yeah,
fine
I
with that.
think very good question, because now that I think, because I've talked a lot about this, and it took time for me to heal from it as well. Now I can see straight away if somebody is making a joke or ridiculing other people. I will call it out,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say, "Oh, I don't like that." I will still take it. Like I said, I'm not gonna jump into like being super offensive because of that. Um,
Mm,
but there is a certain threshold. If you go
mm.
beyond that threshold, I will call you out.
Because this is just honest observation, yeah. I still think that it's still happening currently, and I never comfortable seeing that happen to you. But you
No,
seem to take it okay. To me, I was like, that's not fun. But Farah seems to be okay, so maybe she is fine.
I am fine. Terus I cakap, I think up to a certain extent, I have developed this resilience towards people like
I see.
ridiculing me. But
Yeah.
I think when it gets out of hand, or when I feel
Mm.
like macam, dah tu, then I would say, dah. Like I
Mm.
would say that lah. Macam, I guess in the past, I will just accept. And then I would, like at night time, I wouldn't be able to sleep
Mm.
because I kept thinking about that. Because I don't know how to
Yeah.
resolve that. But now, I think I've developed a sense of like detachment from these comments. Like, yeah, you can comment that about me, but that doesn't mean that it's true. Like, but then if they keep doing that, then I will call them out. Yeah.
Yeah. That is very brave of you to call people out. I think because for me, I just like, you know what, brush it off. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like to start a fight. I just absorb things. So that's why it's a tornado inside. Like, when you're going through all the emotions, you just want to be okay, but at the same time, you're not okay. And in the public
Because you're very
spaces, in a group of
sensitive.
friends,
That's
yeah,
why.
very sensitive. I need to work on that. But at the same time, I appreciate that sensitivity is needed in this life.
Yeah,
If everyone is
absolutely.
so oblivious, who's
Yeah.
gonna be the cushion to other people in
Yeah.
society?
Yeah. No, that's true. Like I said to you, my husband is a sensitive person as well. But, he also used to bahan his friend. But then people who bahan other people, you should know the difference between bahan in terms of, bahan, sorry, is a Malay word that we used to say, like banter. Yeah. So
Uh,
there's a fine line between banter and bullying. So
Mm,
you are not careful and you fall into that bullying punya, category, then there's something wrong. So I
mm,
can differentiate between those two. So banter I can appreciate. Bullying, no.
mm.
No thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good awareness. Okay, let's move on to this one question. I think
Okay.
we are dying to ask one another. If in the face of, conflict, especially within closest friends
Mm.
or friends that you thought that are close with, would you confront them or you would just contemplate? How would you deal with that?
This is a very hard question. I think I'm the one who I think I'm quite comfortable confronting.
Mm,
But timing is key.
mm,
so
that's it.
so I would, yeah, because I feel like I'm the kind of person that will feel really unsettled. Like if I know something is wrong and I'm just like sitting on it. Not
Mm,
just in friendship, even in like, family relationship, like,
mm,
like say if I got into an argument with my dad, and I upset him, it will kill me to wait before I speak to him. Like I would, okay, Abah, we need to speak, and I would say if I feel that something is not right, and
yeah,
but also over time, I learned that sometimes that might not be the best approach. Some things just need time to heal, and then
yeah,
you just as long as, say, if I had a rift with some, like my
mm,
other friend, and
yeah,
it's very awkward to talk about it, because there could be a
mm,
thousand reasons of why it's awkward to talk about those things, because it would be attacking someone personally, like be mentioning someone else's character, or
mm,
someone close to them. Like you don't want to, if it's very complicated, I would just let time heal, and
let
then
time heal.
come back, let's reconnect and
Yeah,
whatnot. But if
yeah,
it's something that is confrontationable, I don't know if that's a
mm,
word, then yes, I would confront. How
mm.
about you, Emira?
I think it's also very tricky. It's not a simple answer to this.
Mm.
And I'm not confrontational, so I'm not going to be like in the heat of the moment, like, all right, we need to talk this out. I'm the one who will always take this in inside my head and process it. Sometimes I tend to process it way too long, that in the end, there's no solution. The solution is to talk it out. My husband is like just like you. He's like, when we are in a conflict among friends, or he knows what I'm going through. Like, you need to talk it out. You need to just ask them what is
Mm.
going. Just ask them what's going on. You don't have to self-explain yourself. If the person feel the same way that there is some conflict, they will also open up to you. And yeah, I think that again, timing and also reading the room when this is the right time or not.
Yes, reading the room is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
important. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
because you don't want
But
to be
I
like
tend to
blabbing, like
blabbing.
yourself, because like if that person is not ready to talk, and then you are forcing this on them, it's gonna end up quite badly, isn't it? So yeah.
But sometimes some people, even if you give time, even if you give space and you approach it gently, they are just not open to discussion. So that
Yeah,
has
that's
happened
true.
also.
That's true.
Yeah. So they're just not open to discuss or trying to sort this out. So probably they are already on the phase of like moving on, but you are still trying to, you are the person who want to patch things out, want to make things
That's
work. So if that is the case, then that's okay. Khalas lah. It's okay.
Yeah,
Allah knows best.
halas, but oh, don't shut the door completely. But yeah,
Yeah.
halas in that
Yeah.
point in time. That's right. So yes,
Yeah,
just I think there's no good in like ruminating over something you cannot control, right? It's just gonna bring
yeah,
more like heartbreak. Um,
that's true.
I think in our culture, there's not much of teaching children about sharing their feelings, and I think nowadays, yes, a lot more. I think it would be good to teach children, how to
Yeah,
manage feelings and talk about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
when we grow up, people don't like sensitive people. Like, oh, you're too
Yeah,
sensitive.
almost like it's a
Like,
bad thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like a bad thing. So I always like felt, I think in my early 20s, up until I figure out like, you know what, I'm fine. I'm actually okay. I'm not bad. I'm not weird. And I think, yeah, growing up, I always feel like, oh, I need to toughen up sensitivity is not welcome in this room and stuff like that. I need to
Oh,
be someone who has less emotion. That's why I think I become a lone ranger because I feel I want to prove to myself that look, I am not this crybaby. I can do this. I am brave person. La la la. I want to be like the cool girl, a cool girl all by myself. I don't need girl group, whatever.
I don't need your approval. I
Yeah,
only
I
need
like
Allah
I'll
approval.
prove myself that
Yeah.
I'm strong girly. But
But
really,
this
there's not
is,
really you don't really have to prove anything to anyone, honestly. It's
uh,
just
that's
yeah.
true. But just bringing us back to our discussion, it's, now that Aemeyra said that, so I just want to say to, anyone out there who feels like you're alone, you feel not appreciated, or you feel like you don't belong in, the group of friends that you're in, just
Mm,
know that, one day you will attract the right people in your life, and you
that's
will
true.
meet people that will appreciate you as who you are.
Mm-mm.
We both have been there, isn't it? So just a bit of consolation to those out there, really. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna share like just a few thoughts about, meeting people and departing from people because, we make friends, we lose friends, and we're staying in friendship. It all by the will of Allah, right? So this is
Yes.
something that we reflected recently on Quran Gathering about Surah Yusuf, where Yusuf alayhi salam have to encounters all these mean people in his life to get him from down such a place of darkness
Mm.
to a place of glory, victory that Allah has promised him. If he hadn't lived in a household where the Egyptian chief, he wouldn't understand how to become a chief one day. There is lesson in every meetings, and there's also lessons in every departing. So I really try to hold on to that. So how are you going to proceed with like friendship in the future? Like, how's your outlook towards making friends and
I think at the moment, Alhamdulillah, I feel like I'm in a good place. I would say keep
mm,
the people that you trust close to you, and
mm,
if you want friendship, you have to reach out. If you want something, you have to work for it. Like you need to put value in your friendship the way you want to value that friendship. It's inevitable to feel hurt,
mm-mm,
when you're in a friendship. But I think just
mm-mm,
trust the process and don't get too bad hurt.
mm.
Like, she doesn't invite me, it's fine. Just do whatever that makes you happy. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to like adding values of doing the work, and I think doing the work is clearly for the intention to please Allah. I know sometimes it's easy to get caught up with like, when you throw in parties for other people, you throw in dinner parties and everything, you want people to do the same to you, but
Yeah.
remove myself from that formula. The formula is you do it, Allah see it, Allah reward you, not people to invite you back or
Precisely.
mention you, yeah, appraise you for that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is something that I've been trying to work on, like just do it for the sake of Allah.
Yeah.
Be patient when building friendship. You put in all the work, sometimes you can't see the results. You can't see this friendship blooming in the way that you expect. Obviously, Allah has His own way of building things up, right? So, but
Mm.
again, friendship is also like fine wine. It will get better with time. Like me and
Yes.
Farah, we've been knowing each other for 14 years. And the first few years we weren't close, but
Yeah.
I think slowly we developed into becoming where we are right now.
That's
Same
right.
with I'm thinking of our friends that our common friends. Again, we were
Uh,
not close at the beginning. We over time developed that trust, build that,
yeah.
putting the time and effort, and until we get to where we are now. I'm so proud of our group of friends. I mean, you guys have
Alhamdulillah.
been
And this is
really
why, like I said, if you want a good friendship, you have to invest on your good friendship, and you have to bring value to that friendship. Take what's positive from them, learn what's negative from them, accept them, and,
mm,
try to move past that, whatever differences you have, don't ruminate. And, I think that's just going to make things so hard, on yourself. And
yeah,
also, one last thing. I think the society has developed in a way that we put too much dependency on ourselves, that we forgot that human relations are very important to survive in this world. The
Mm-hmm.
feeling that you are in a community. Lots of people develop depression or anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
social issues because
Yeah.
because you're not being, you don't have that support system. So
Yeah.
hablu min Allah, hablu min nas, isn't it? This is a quote that says that you have to maintain a good relationship with Allah, and you also have to maintain good relationship with
Mm-hmm.
human beings, meaning that Allah knows that we need
Mm-hmm.
each other to survive
Mm-hmm.
in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um
Yeah, that's interesting that you touch on that because I think the whole teaching of the deen is to make you a better person so
that's
that
right.
you become a better server to the ummah. You're not here to just live by your little life, become your main character. You are one of the characters in this whole movie or
Fast world, yeah,
theater that Allah is, you know, directing in our life. I
that's
think,
right.
yeah, learn the
Beautiful.
deen, find people who will draw you towards the deen, find group friends that remind you of Allah. Alhamdulillah, I feel like I found mine. But at the same time, hold on to Miss K's word. Friendship comes and goes.
Miss K
You know,
quote. Yes,
we have to include
friendship
that in
comes and
there.
go. No
Come
hard
and go. Just,
feelings. Friendship comes and
yeah, be at
goes.
ease. Be at ease. Whatever that comes to you is what you
Yes,
did, what
be
you
at
need.
ease.
Whatever that leave is fine as Allah's protection.
That's right. Okay. I guess we have come to
Okay,
an end now,
I
have
think
we?
that's it. Okay, thank you so much for listening until the
Thank
end.
you so
Um,
much.
don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a
And
comment
comment. And comment. Yeah, we want to
so
know
that we
about your
want to
stories
know. We
too.
want to know
Yeah,
what you think. Is there any technical issues that you're not happy with, so that we know how we can improve ourselves? Yes,
that's right.
and
Yes, I want to
everyone
know
will
your
have
story.
a
If you
good
have any
week.
interesting story, just share it in the comment section. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. See you next
Assalamualaikum.
time, inshallah.